Ini Good evening. Welcome to Star Talk. I'm Ken Eccles, and we're happy to have you with us on the program tonight. We'd love to hear from you. How could that possibly happen, you wonder? Well, it will happen if you call the phone number up there. You can call us on the phone. You can also email us. It is keneckleslive@gmail.com is the email address, and love to get a call from you or an email. You can also send us a postcard, but that's going to be a little slow. We wouldn't be able to get that tonight. I just want to make sure you understand all the circumstances. So a phone call or email are going to be the best ways to take part in the show. We have a couple of emails that have appeared already. First of all, Nature Boy. Nature Boy went to the Martinsville race yesterday. Nature Boy, who finished second in the first segment of our little NASCAR thing. Mark finished first, but Mark couldn't go. So the tickets went to Nature Boy, and he went to the race yesterday and sent me some video from Martinsville yesterday afternoon. And very happy that Nature Boy was able to use the tickets and had a good time at the race. And of course, the Martinsville was the first race in our second segment. We've started all over now. Everybody started fresh at zero, and we have 10 races coming up in this segment, at the end of which somebody else is going to win the Martinsville tickets or something better. Who knows? Who knows? But we have one race in the books for that second segment now. And at the top of the list, out of the gate, it is Nice Guy in first place because Nice Guy picked the winner yesterday, Chase Elliott. So Nice Guy, I don't know why that's not hard to say. I shouldn't be struggling with that. Nice Guy is on top with 40 points. Nature Boy and Captain Midnight are tied with 39 points right behind. Then Avenger with 38. And a Liberal is in fifth place with, actually, Liberal and Captain Midnight. No, Liberal and Avenger. Maybe I should do this later after I've had time to get ready for it. Liberal and Avenger are tied for fourth place. ChatGPT is back in the mix this time. ChatGPT is in sixth place. Hello, caller. You're on the air. Go ahead, please.
Ken, this is Ralph. How you doing, good man?
I'm doing good. Ralph, how are you?
Doing pretty good. I didn't keep up with this weekend.
This weekend is, I know, but I'm going to look just to make sure I get it right. Bristol. They go to Bristol, but it's not this weekend. It's the 12th. There is no race this weekend. Yeah.
All right, well, can pick mine now.
Okay, Ralph, who do you want for Bristol?
You get, let me get Chase Elliott.
Okay, Ralph has taken the number 9 for Bristol on April 12th. Ralph, it's in the book.
Appreciate it.
Okay, thanks, Ralph. Good to hear from you.
Yes, sir, Ray.
So first pick for Bristol goes to Ralph, and he takes number 9, Chase Elliott for Bristol. Rest of the current standings, Mark is in 7th place, Jack 8th, Ralph is 9th, but only 5 points off first place. He's still pretty close right now. Mr. Pelham is in 10th, then Mr. NASCAR, Mr. Leaksville, Citizen D, Mr. Draper is in 14th, Lady in Black, then Leon, Early Bird, Pretty Man. And Charles is in the cellar at the moment. Hello, caller. You're on the air. Go ahead, please.
Hey, Ken. It's Mark Median.
Hey, Mark. How you doing?
Okay, how you doing?
I'm doing okay.
Oh, that's good. Go ahead and put me down for Denny Hamlin for the next race.
Okay, Mark has the 11 for Bristol. It's in the book.
What position you say? Where am I at on the standings?
Let's see, you are in seventh place, but you got 35 points. First place is 40 points, so you're in seventh place, but you're only 5 points behind.
Okay. So it's seventh place or fifth place?
Seventh.
Oh, okay. All right. Thanks again.
All right, Mark, thanks for calling.
Thanks.
I may have said fifth earlier. I may have said anything earlier. But actually, here they are, a nice guy. Then Nature Boy and Captain Midnight tied for second. Avenger and Liberal tied for fourth. Chat GPT is fifth. And Mark, actually, I was wrong. Mark and Jack and Ralph are tied for sixth place. This is not complicated. I don't know why I can't get it right. But that it is, Mark. You and Jack and Ralph are all tied for sixth place. And that's official. Hello, caller. You're on the air. Go ahead, please.
Well, good evening, Mr. Ken.
Good evening.
So I'm in the cellar, huh?
Oh, you are deep. You are deep in the cellar. Your man had real bad luck yesterday. So you're in 18th. You got 5 points. Pretty Man is just ahead. Now this is really sad. Pretty Man is just ahead of you with 17 points. So you're 12 points behind Pretty Man, for crying out loud.
I don't care. I know where I've probably been. I knew when the rig. I was watching it.
Well, you got plenty of time to catch up.
Okay, is this an oval or a
Bristol.
do I need 10? What kind of track is this?
Bristol is an oval.
All right. I'm about to pull out. I'm about to pull out the big guns now.
All right. Who is the big gun?
I'm going with the 45, Tyler Reddick.
Tyler Reddick. Okay, Charles has 45 for Bristol. Well, he's won 4 times already, so he would seem to be a pretty good bet considering he's won 4 races already. So it's in the book. You have the 45 for Bristol.
Right. I heard. Did you hear about Tiger Woods' latest problem?
You know, I don't know what his latest problem is. What is it?
He had another wreck. He had another turnover.
Another rollover?
Yep.
Was he hurt?
No. He did not want to give a blood test or a urine sample.
Well, that's not good.
I think he was DWI.
Is he charged with that?
I didn't pay much attention to it, but I think it's maybe coming.
Okay, well, I'm sorry to hear that. You know, I hate for anybody to be in that situation.
Well, I don't have to worry about that situation.
No, you don't. And good for you. And I hope he'll be okay. And thank goodness he wasn't hurt. If he rolled the car over, it's a good thing he wasn't hurt.
Yeah. Oh, my friend from the Philippines sends her best wishes to my friends in America.
Well, excellent. What does she know about your friends? And what sort of tales have you told her about your friends in America?
Well, I told her about people at my job. I told her about the people on Star News who I talked to in the evening at 7, and about you.
Mm-hmm. Well, send her our regards back. Have you told her anything truthful about us?
Yes, that you're very nice people. We get along very nicely. I don't argue with any of the callers or the so-called emailers.
So-called emailers? What does that mean?
I mean the people who email you and talk to you. Hold on. I'm on the phone. And but like it is, I tell her how much I am a nice person to everybody.
Well, good. That's a good thing to tell her. I think of all the things you could tell her, that maybe is your best choice.
Yeah, I don't tell her about the arguments I have with a certain one.
Well, no, I don't see any point bringing that up. Have you told her anything about Pretty Man?
I have not even thought about mentioning that Chihuahua.
Okay, I think that's also a good policy.
Oh yeah, I don't talk about Chihuahuas or anything. I'm a Rottweiler.
All right, well, let's don't. You're going to egg him on until he calls. I don't want him to call, so go easy on that.
Well, I just want to say this before I leave. To my friend, I will let him know when we're going to have our next meeting. It's a priority meeting.
A priority meeting. Oh, well, that sounds important, and I'm sure he'll be standing by for notification.
All right. Have a good day, Mr. Kidd.
Well, thanks
Bye-bye.
for calling. Thanks for calling. Appreciate that. Phone line is open. Up there is the phone number that you can call, and the email address is keneckleslive@gmail.com. And we'd love to hear from you by phone or by email. And let's examine the email inbox here and see what we find. And we find this. Hope you're on tonight. Charles was not on. He's so dependable. LOL, says the emailer. Hendricks and all Chevys have a new body they are dealing with, but Byron ran up front. I have a theory. All right. You're just going to tell us you have a theory and then not tell us what the theory is. This is interesting. The Hendrick has been in kind of a slump. You know, it's not they're doing all that badly. They're just not doing as well as we've seen the Hendrick cars do over the years, and they are running or have been running a little low up to this point. Of course, they obviously did pretty good yesterday. But and I did not know this, that all the Chevys well, I guess I did know all the Chevys have a new body, not just Hendrick. But Mr. Draper has a theory, and maybe if we're good, Mr. Draper at some point will tell us what that theory is, because I'd love to hear it. Hey, Ken, this is Jack. Put me down for the number 20 next week at Bristol, Christopher Bell. Thanks. All right, Jack, I will put you down for the 20 at Bristol, but it's not well, I guess it is next week. It's April 12th. It's not this week. It's next week, the 12th of April at Bristol. So, don't mind me. Jack has the 20 for Bristol. So, at this point, Ralph has the 9, Mark has the 11, Charles has the 45, and Jack has the 20. Those are our picks for Bristol. And again, the Bristol race is April 12th. There won't be a race this Sunday. So those of you who if you think you need extra time to ponder and to consider, and if you want to talk to your racing people and get additional information before you make your pick for Bristol, then you have plenty of time to do that. This emailer says, Ken, you say ChatGPT is back in. I thought we banned him last time. No, we didn't ban him. There are folks who don't want him in. There actually are folks who don't want him in. But remember, he can't win. He can't deprive anybody, even if he wins, as we've seen. He cannot deprive anybody of getting the tickets, because ChatGPT is not eligible to win the tickets or to win anything in the race. ChatGPT is just sort of an honorary competitor, just to see how well he might do from segment to segment. But don't worry, ChatGPT will not stop anybody from winning the tickets, because he can't have them. This emailer says, Ken, what is the current price? I'm still keeping records. What is the current average price of gasoline in the United States? Well, today, according to AAA, this afternoon, about 3 hours ago, according to AAA, the average price of a gallon of unleaded regular is $3.99 a gallon. Not $4, still under $4. $3.99 a gallon, according to AAA. Now, there's another survey out there, and I figure it only makes sense if you're going to track this, as this emailer is doing. If you're going to track this from week to week, it only makes sense to use the same source every week. So that's why I always quote AAA. There is other survey where they do it a little differently than AAA, and that other survey says the average price is $4.10 a gallon. But I'm sticking with AAA because AAA is what sort of been the authoritative source all this time, and AAA says $3.99. Ken, I got a letter from the IRS. That's always fun. Everybody loves to get a letter from the IRS. And I got a letter from the IRS that says they cannot send me my refund in a check. I did my taxes online, and when I selected my refund mode, I selected send me a paper check, because that's the way I like to do it. And now I have this form, something or another, from the IRS that says they don't send paper checks anymore, and they want me to give them my bank account number. Is this a scam? Is this somebody just trying to steal my bank account information, or is this real? I never heard that they won't send checks anymore. What do you know about that? They don't want to send any more checks. The IRS doesn't. It is not that they absolutely won't send you a check, and they will send you a check eventually. If you choose to ignore that and not do anything, you'll eventually get a check, but it's not going to be quick. What the IRS says about this is that if you absolutely insist, it must be a check and you will accept nothing else, that you can get it, but it might take another 10 weeks before you get your refund. Like 6 to 10 weeks is what they're saying. And if we translate that from government speak into actual speak, maybe 6 to 10 weeks in government language, what that could mean 10 to 14 weeks in the real world, who knows? But what's happening is this: they are phasing out sending refunds on paper checks. An executive order, the president issued an executive order actually in 2025, telling the IRS to hurry up and stop sending out paper checks. And I think they'd been talking about that for a while anyway, and then the executive order came along and said, do it quick. So they're trying to completely phase out paper checks now. So the letter you got from the IRS is not a scam. Well, maybe I shouldn't say. How do I know it could be a scam? Let me put it this way: the IRS is sending letters to people who requested their refunds by check, and they're sending a form. I don't remember the form number, but they are sending letters asking for bank account information because they would rather do direct deposit than send you a check. Now, my understanding of that is that they're not asking you to call up and give your bank account number on the phone. They're not what, if it was a scam, if somebody's asking you to call this number and tell me your bank account information, that probably is a scam. Don't do that. What the form should say, if it's the real thing, what the form should say is you need to provide the IRS your bank account information, and they will ask you, I'm pretty sure they will ask you to do that through an online IRS account. Now, if you have an online account with the IRS, if you're like pen pals with the IRS and you know, you exchange recipes and all that, then if you already have an account with the IRS, just go to that account and follow the instructions to give them your bank account information. If you don't have an account with the IRS, then you can do either of the following things. One, you can just ignore this, at least for this year, and in 6 or 10 or 14 weeks, who knows, they will eventually send you your refund on a paper check. If you don't want to wait that long, if you'd rather have it in 3 days, then go to the IRS, set up an account. Now, it's not the easiest thing. It's not like setting up a Google account. If you want to set up an IRS account, you're going to have to identify yourself for sure. They may ask you, they probably will ask you to send them a copy of a government-issued photo ID of some sort. Point is, there are a few steps you're going to have to go through to set up an account with the IRS if you don't already have one. But once you've done that, then you give them your bank account information. And you should have your refund deposited within just a few days, 3 or 4 days. So that's what that's all about. They don't want to send out any more checks. They're tired of sending out checks, and they want to stop doing that. So that's why you got the letter, and those are your choices. So proceed accordingly. But let me repeat, if it is, this would be a perfect opportunity, and I think we ought to note this. This would be a perfect opportunity for scammers to get involved on something like this, because the scammers know this is going on, and the scammers know the IRS is asking people for their bank account information. So, you know, and any scammer who's on the ball is going to say, you know what, we ought to send these people letters and just have them call us on the phone and give us their bank account information. Don't do that, because that's not the way it works. So if that's what they're asking for, then consider it a scam. Okay. Phone line is open. There's a number up there that you can call. The email address is keneckleslive@gmail.com, and you can give us a call or send us an email, whichever works best for you. This emailer says, Ken, I also got that thing from the IRS because I had requested a check too. But I have went and got my IRS account and put up my bank account information. It is not all that hard to do. It takes a few minutes to get it done to set up the IRS account, but that's the way it ought to be. Otherwise, the scammers would be setting up IRS accounts in everybody's name. So yeah, that's what I had to do because I did not want to wait another 10 weeks to get my refund. All right, emailer. Thanks for that. Probably, you'd be surprised, at least I'm surprised, that a whole lot of people still prefer to get their refunds on a check in an envelope. But apparently quite a few people do, because I'm hearing about quite a few people who get these letters because they requested a paper check. But it won't be very many by next year, though. To me, I never get a refund anyway. It just doesn't make any difference to me. I send the IRS paper checks. They don't send me paper checks. I send them paper checks. But that's how it works in my life. Hello, Ken. This is Mr. NASCAR. And Mr. NASCAR takes, well, I'll get back to that in just a second. Hello, caller. You're on the air. Go ahead, please.
Yes, Ken, how you doing?
Good. How are you?
All right. All right, Ken, look, you gave out the names and position, but you didn't give out would you go down the point list right quick? You know how many points each one has.
Yeah, I'll do that. Hang on just a second. I got so much stuff here.
Because
All
it's
right,
real close.
Here we go.
Yeah.
Here we go. Nice guy.
Okay.
Nice guy, 40 points. Nature Boy, 39. Captain Midnight, 39. Avenger, 38. The Liberal, that's you. Well, you knew that already. The Liberal, 36. Yeah. Mark, 35. Now, Liberal, 36. And
you said me and the Avenger were tied one time.
Did I say that?
Yeah,
you are.
But
yeah, I did say that, but that's because 8 and 6 look a lot alike. And now that I look more closely, Avenger has 38. You have 36. You are tied with ChatGPT with 36. Now,
all right. There we go.
You need to hear the rest of them. Is that all you need to know?
Well, you can finish down the list.
All right, and I'll this time I'm gonna have it all right this time. So after you and GPT with 36, we have Mark 35, Jack 35, Ralph 35, Mr. Pelham and Mr. NASCAR 34, Mr. Leaksville, Citizen D and Mr. Draper 32, Lady in Black 27, Leon 24, Early Bird 17, Pretty Man 17, and Charles from Danville has 5. So there they are.
All right. Okay, that sounds good. Oh, look, on the news this afternoon there, as I was surfing through the various channels, they made mention that Duke Power received a 15% increase for the first year, which would be approximately $28 for the residents.
Yep.
And then the second year, $67 increase what was figured would be.
Okay.
Did you hear about that? You having the knowledge? Huh?
I knew that hearing was today. I did not know that the state had granted that, but I know the hearing was today, and I know a lot of people are in real bad mood.
They won't. Now that's what they're talking about right now.
Right.
I'm not gonna say it's finalized, so don't miss.
Then,
on that.
I knew that was today. That's what they're asking for.
That second year, I mean, you can tell midterms and everything. These people hold back the big guns and the shockers to the second year, don't they?
Well, I don't know if this was mentioned in the coverage that you heard, but since 2020, from 2020 up to right now, their rates have gone up 22% since 2020. And now we're looking at asking for another 15% on top of that. I mean, it's getting kind of steep to turn on the lights.
You know, I tell you, these lobbyists that flood these politicians we vote in and send down there, they are getting their money's worth, aren't they?
Well, yeah, they are. You know, it comes down to this: who's in a better position to give money to the politicians, Duke Energy or you?
That's right. That's right.
Duke Energy's going to win that one.
Yep. Like I said, they want something for them $1 million, $2 million. You know, they probably flooded a lot in this last campaign there, and since they can't get the money's worth now, I guess they come get it back from us, huh?
Well, I don't have in front of me, somewhere in here, if I could find it, and I'm not going to be able to, I could tell you how much Duke Energy has spent on lobbying since 2020. I can't tell you exactly how much it is. I can tell you it's a lot. And I can tell you they get
Wow.
results. They get
Wow.
results from it.
Wow. And see, if this their cost is so much, how do they have such an excessive amount of money to for these lobbyists to pay out?
That's a good point. If they would shut down, if they just simply shut down their lobbying efforts, they could probably cut everybody's bill by 10 or 12%.
I tell you what, people really don't like what's going on. Did you notice that No King March the weekend?
I
You
noticed
see any of it?
people in that, yeah.
Yeah, they said at the end, at first they said 8 million. From 8 to 9, they said they didn't have an accurate count to at the end. But Ken, one veteran that was there, and he spoke and he was upset, and he said he saw 15,000 of his buddies die in Vietnam while the president sat at home with bone spurs. He said, but now he thinks war is great. But you hold that page in that book where I predicted about 6 weeks to 2 months ago, when they all was denying boots on the ground. I told you that it's going to be some boots on the ground for this thing is finished with. Because you can't, if you think about it, how can you do a regime change from the air?
Well, you can't really, I don't know what the right way to say this. You can't capture you can't take over a country with airstrikes. And
that's right. That's right.
What I'm saying is you cannot do things like go get their uranium. You can't do that with airstrikes.
That's right.
If
That's
you want
right.
to recover, if you're going to get your hands on the uranium, you've got to put people in there to do it. Now, I'm not predicting that that'll happen. I'm just saying
Right.
that if we
That's
want
right.
the uranium, the only way to do it is with soldiers to go and get it. You can't get it with an airstrike.
That's right. That's right. And Ken, I'm gonna close on a good note while you and I agreeing. And you have a good night here.
Okay, thanks for calling.
So, all right.
Now, if you can work out an agreement, let's not lose sight of this. If you can work out an agreement with Iran whereby they agree to give up their uranium, then that would be, that would be ideal. Obviously, that would be the best outcome. So we'll see. Phone line is open. There's the number, and here's a call. Hello, caller. You're on the air. Go ahead, please.
That was quite funny. He thought you was agreeing with him.
Well, I don't agree or disagree.
You state the fact that we cannot gather that uranium without boots on the ground. Everybody knew that before when the war started. When the war, whatever you want to call it, when it all started. You can't pick it up with a helicopter. You got to go on the ground and get it. They got to hit in the tunnels.
Yeah,
good gracious. Yeah, he
right.
said that, but that was common sense back then. Anybody, Trump had bone spurs. What was his excuse? Why did he not go in the military? Why didn't he serve? He could have been drafted.
Let's not talk about him. Okay,
Well,
go
why not?
that way.
He talks about everything he wants to.
Well, we're not going to talk about him. We're just not. Now.
Well, he just needs to learn. He needs to educate himself.
Okay.
That's what it amounts to. Anyway, people, hate sounds. The truth sounds like hate to those who hate the truth. It's just simple as that. But anyway, I'm helping Charles from Danville's phone tonight.
What are you doing?
I'm helping Charles from Danville in his retirement fund.
Oh, are you? How are you doing that?
I'm eating Bojangles chicken.
Oh.
I'm contributing.
All right, and that'll be another 12 cents on his pension. Good deal.
Or 3 or 1 or something.
Well, it depends on
No,
how
you know
much-
what I do?
how
I
much
go
chicken you
I
eat.
go up there. I'm sorry, go ahead.
I said it just depends on how much chicken you eat.
I eat Bojangles probably 3 times a month.
Okay.
But what I
Well,
do, that's 6 nights a week, because I get the 8-piece and 4 biscuits, 2 large sides, and a half gallon of sweet tea for $19.99. And anybody can do that after 6 o'clock.
Really?
And it's not a special or anything. They don't have it on the board up there. You got to tell them you want the $19.99 8-piece with 4 biscuits and 2 sides. And it comes out with the tax on it to that $19.99.
Oh, so you have to ask for that.
Yeah, you have to ask for it. And then I eat 4 pieces last night. Tonight I microwaved the other 4, and the other 2 biscuits and part of the sides. I still got enough sides for tomorrow night if I want it. Eating the same thing 3 nights in a row is kind of rough, though.
Well, if it's good.
But I heat this up in the microwave. I lay a paper towel over it in the box and heat it in the microwave so it's good and moist and doesn't get all dry and all. Biscuits come out really good. A little bit tough, but they're still good. And so that's the way I do it. And then I've got meals for me for 2 nights in a row at least for $20.
Well, you can't beat that.
No. And I just want to tell people that as of lately, I've been eating out more than I have because I just ain't wanted to cook. It ain't that cooking bothers me so much; it's it cleaning up.
Well, you don't have to cook. You don't have to cook. You can buy beanie weenies. You don't have to cook them.
But my dog, she gets tired of smelling beanie weenies.
I'll tell you, you're talking about eating the same
She'll
thing. Eating the same thing 3
She'll look
nights
at
in
me
a
and
row.
she'll give me the eyeball, look at me, and go in the other room.
Yeah, when I was in college, I probably ate beanie weenies 9 or 10 nights in a row.
You didn't have close friends, did you?
No. No, not any that would stay for very long in the house.
Oh my goodness. No, but I still buy her, and she gets what I don't eat. She don't get the hard bones, but she gets the ends of them and the crust. I don't eat a lot of the crust, and she gets a good plate of leftovers and a biscuit and some mac and cheese and potatoes and gravy and
Charles,
and if it's
gets
not
more
enough,
money
I'll
in
open
it.
it.
Charles gets
Huh?
more in his retirement fund. It's a win-win.
There you go. Sure enough, yep.
Now, what is your theory? You said you had a theory about the Chevrolets. What is that?
Well, it's not so much the Chevrolets. It's about Kyle Larson, really. If you think about it, back when Kyle Larson's things started going downhill, when he got out of that sprint car that night, went to the Indy car the next day, and came to NASCAR the next day.
Yeah, I remember.
He's gone downhill ever since.
So you think he damaged himself?
I think he did. I think he felt the grip of the Indy cars, and he tries to make a NASCAR do it, and you can't do it.
Well,
So I
surely-
don't know if it's psychological or age, and children, as I mentioned before, when they get older, they got more responsibilities other than winning that race and taking the big chances. These younger kids, Hocevar and all that, well, they do that. Rick a fool out of you get through there.
Well, yeah. I mean, I understand what you're saying, but certainly he would have readjusted to the NASCAR cars by now. That's been like 3 years since he did that.
I would have thought so, too. But they all got the same engines, as Ralph has said, I've said. And, there's no competition other than the crew chief and the setup and the driver.
That's true. But yes,
So he's either lost something in himself, or they hadn't got the car dialed.
Well,
I can't.
something's
Why have
different.
they got Byron's car dialed in, but not his? And
Yeah,
Elliott's is dialed
yeah,
in, but not his.
Chase Elliott's car looks all right. Um,
Yeah.
so I don't know. That's interesting. I mean, obviously, presumably they all have the same information about the setups and everything else. So maybe
Yeah, they do.
the difference, I guess, is the driver. I mean, you can certainly make that argument.
Yeah, and the setup of the car. And I don't know,
One
but
thing for sure, we know this for sure. He's not driving. He's not doing as well as what we got used to. He's not as dominant as he was. So something is different.
yeah, and when he gets up front, he still falls back. He went from 18th to 5th and fell back to whatever it was that he finished at.
Yep.
Yes.
I don't know.
Yeah. Oh, well, I'll take up enough. I'll let somebody call. Have
Okay.
a good night, Ken. Take care, bud. Have a good
Thanks. Thanks for calling and enjoy that chicken. Hello, caller. You're on the air. Go ahead, please.
Hello, Ken. How are you tonight?
I'm doing okay. How are you?
Yeah, it's been a while since I talked to you. I've been under the weather a little bit there.
I'm sorry.
I'm feeling better now, a whole lot better. I just, sometimes, Ken, I just make it bad on myself, though. And I, right there mowing the grass the other day here without my mask on with the COPD, and it was first cut right there. You ought to seen the dust, man.
Oh, man. And there's pollen out there
Yeah.
now, too.
Exactly right. Exactly. Yeah, I tell you what, I paid for it. I ended up in the hospital, but they just kept me up after about enough to get the money's worth. Then they turned me loose.
Okay. Well, I'm sorry that happened. I hope you feeling better.
Okay, and I feel a whole lot better now. And I was just sitting here listening over the TV here, and I was listening to the talk, and I know it's a lot. It's a mess. I was just looking at the No Kings March here the last weekend here, and the millions of people that was marching. And what they were, what they marching about? They marching about no king, but they marching on what this man ran on. And before he came into office, he ran on lowering the prices, no wars, and all. Everything he ran on, he's doing. I mean, he's not doing. Everything he's not doing none of it. And I mean, all of these millions of people cannot be wrong. All this marching and whatnot, they can't be wrong. I mean, some of them, at least some of them got to be right. Some fact of what they're saying about the ice and all that and all this mess. And then, like you said, boots on the ground. Said he wasn't going to do that right there, but yet and still, there he is doing what he said he won't going to do. Yeah. And what saddens me is, Ken, every one of his cabinet right there cannot think for themselves. They have to go along with whatever he says. Now, that's what he wants the American people to do. He don't want you to have a mind of your own. He don't want you to think. He want to think for you. If that's the way some people want to live, and let them live their dream. You know what I'm saying? But I don't see myself want to live like I have lived since my coming up, being like that, having someone to think for me. But now I got the ability to think for myself. I want to do that, have the privilege to do that. You know what I'm saying? So I'm grateful to God that I got that and don't have to, listen
That's
to somebody
privilege we
tell me
all
what
have.
to do.
A privilege we all have, and one we all should exercise. I don't do public marches or anything like that. But for those who do march, good for them. Whatever your attitude is, you're for, you're against, whatever you are, you ought to think, you ought to speak up, and you ought to tell people what you think, and that's how the country works.
That's exactly right, kid. You know what I'm saying? You're exactly right. And I appreciate that, what you just said. Well, I'm not in no shape to march myself, but I was watching them on the TV doing what they do. And, I mean, some of them had sort of bad signs up there. Kids, they watching the TV. But, they should have did it a little bit better. But they did it peacefully as far as I know. So, but other than that, But like you said, though, it's freedom of speech, and that's what we all have. And the thing about it is, this man wants to take that away from you. And here he is up there. How can you sit up there and let Putin give Iran ammunition to fight against the United States? I thought he was supposed to be on the United States side. I don't understand that. That's what the news.
Putin is not on Putin is not on the United States side. I think I
That's
hope
true.
everybody understands that.
But he can sit up there and suck up to this man right here and roll out the red carpet to it. I can't. I ain't gonna hold you up no longer. I'm gonna let that go. And okay. And so you have a blessed evening. And
Well, thanks. Thanks for
yes, sir.
calling.
Yes,
I
sir.
hope you feel
You're
better.
welcome.
Sorry to hear that he had to go to the hospital for a while. We have, well, not much time, just a few minutes left for your phone calls and your emails. And speaking of your emails, have one over here. Ken, what is this all? Well, wait, let's do this instead. Hello, caller. You're on the air. Go ahead, please.
Good evening to you, Ken.
Good evening.
What it's worth,
Mm-hmm.
I was drafted in 1971,
Right.
and for what it's worth, as a veteran, I looked at Donald J. Trump and said, "You put this draft dodger in charge of the United States military?" That's the way I look at it.
Well, he of course is not the first in recent memory who has been elected president having not served in the military.
No, hang on. There's a big difference between not serving in the military and dodging the draft because he has flat feet. Sure plays a lot of golf for somebody that has flat feet, if you ask me.
Well, okay. I don't have flat feet, and I don't know. I don't know if that would be a factor in playing golf or not. I can't speak to that one. I have no experience in that one.
Well, for what it's worth, as a veteran, someone who did serve in the United States Army, I did not want to go. I went. For what it's worth, I looked at him as a disgrace, plain and simple.
Okay.
Thank you, Ken. Have a good evening.
All right, well, thanks for calling. Now, let's look at that email, which says, Ken, what is the point of this flying to the moon that we're about to do? Isn't that going to cost a lot of money? Well, yeah. It costs a lot of money to fly to the moon. You don't get a discount when you fly to the moon. So what is the point of flying to the moon? Well, that's kind of, I don't exactly know how to answer that. Hello, caller. You're on the air. Go ahead, please.
How you doing tonight, Ken?
Good.
All righty. Listen, man, I re-injured my shoulder again Sunday. I was working on a pressure washer and trying to pull the cord and everything. I kind of throwed it out again. Maybe I'm gonna get to you, man, but I don't know when. But don't give up on me.
Well, it's more important to keep yourself in one piece than to fix my railing. So don't worry about that.
It was feeling a lot better. I promised a couple of jobs to do, and but I was planning on doing some of them this coming week. But I'm probably going to set me back a week or two. But it is what it is. But you was talking about the insurance. Excuse me. You was talking about the electrical rates here a minute ago, right?
Yeah. Okay, go ahead.
Well, I want people to remember the insurance commissioner in Raleigh is a Republican, and he was elected in 2017. So think about that when you go to vote, when you complain about your electrical bill.
Well, it's not, the insurance commissioner is not really the one that makes that decision. but yeah, he is there. It's the rate bureau. They have a rate bureau that makes that decision. It's not the insurance commissioner.
Well, I'm sure he has some influence on it. What do you think?
Well, I guess everybody who works in the government in Raleigh and wears a fancy suit has some amount of influence.
Yeah. Well, we didn't see rates like that with a Democrat in office. Of course, I know everything's gone up since then, but it is what it is. I mean, look at the inflation rate, Ken. Trump campaigned on lowering the price of everything, no foreign wars and all that. How's that working out for the people?
Well, you tell me. The price of energy has not been reduced by 50% in the first year, which is what the president campaigned on. We kind of missed out on that one.
Yeah, we did. And I call this gas increase, I call it a war tax. Because they're going to use that money to fight this next war with, which is totally uncalled for. It was a war of choice. And if you look at the polls on it, pretty much everybody agrees with that. And another thing that really irritates me, Ken, I hear people say, well, why didn't this person go in? Why didn't this person do that? You know what irritates me more than that? When you got people that was in the military that never served a single day in combat, but when they get out, they ride on the coattails of everybody else that did with these VA benefits that they collect every month. And it's not military related. That's what irritates me.
Now,
and I know that happens.
How do you mean? Explain that.
Well, I know people that's been in the military, and when they get out, they have any kind of problems, and then they go to VA and claim the problems to be a VA situation, and it's not.
Then people, somebody who claims a combat-related issue who's in combat?
Yes, sir. I know people that get benefits from the military every month and never served the first day in combat. Now, how's that right?
Well, I don't know. Let me say, first of all, I don't know the VA rules. I don't know exactly how that system works, so I don't exactly know what to say about that.
Yeah, well, there's a lot of it going on out there. A lot of people complain about people being on welfare and food stamps and all that. Some of them are justified, some of them are not. But some people play the VA the very same way. I don't agree with it. I don't appreciate it.
Well, again, I'm ignorant of exactly how that works, so I don't know exactly what you're saying. I don't know exactly how to respond to it. But if you're aware, I guess I've said this to people before who say they know people who are getting benefits illegally, federal benefits. I mean, if you're aware of that, would you not report it to somebody?
Well, for what that's worth, Ken, but look at it like this. I mean, in Rockingham County, if you're considered a disabled veteran, your property taxes is about 50% discounted, are they not?
You do get a break. I don't know if it's 50%. You do get a discount.
Yes, sir. I know that for a fact. At least 40%, I'll put it that way. But if you were in the military and you were not in a combat situation, how can you be considered as a disabled veteran?
Again, I have no idea how to answer that. I mean, you could be injured in the military in some way other than combat, couldn't you?
You certainly could. I'm living proof of that. And as of this day, Ken, I've not seen a penny from any military-related incident. I mean, some people get it unnecessarily, and some people that need it can't get it.
Well, that, of course, I mean, we're talking about the internal workings of the VA there. I guess that's hard to, well, I guess with any federal agency, that's going to be hard to understand.
Yeah. And another thing, too, Ken, I'll end with this. I know you're short on time, but this war that's going on over there, this United States does not want to get boots on the ground over there. I'm telling you, it's going to be a bloodbath. And the thing about it is, for those people saying I'd rather fight there than here, it's your family, it's your friends, mother, father, sisters, brothers that's going to be dying over there with those boots on the ground. So those boots have got personnel, U.S. citizens in those boots. So just remember that.
Well, thanks for calling. That is all
Thank you,
the
Ken.
time. Thanks. That's all the time we have for Star Talk tonight. We're on the air Mondays, Tuesdays, and Wednesdays. Hope you'll join us next time. Thanks for watching. I'm Ken Eccles.